Alright guys, what's going on? Yeah, we're looking at a screen. Um, we're gonna do story time right now. Susie's making I hope nobody's watching. Susie's making a video so that I could put in with this video. She said her video wasn't gonna be long, but mine's is. And I was already at 3 minutes and I stopped it. I'm so stupid, I should have paused it. But here we go again. Alright, so as you guys know, my father was a pastor. I done told everybody that. Throw out this gum. Get a cigarette. Anyway, my father was a co-pastor before, like a co-pay. My father was a co-pastor, and in the church, my father and mother. We were 6 girls and 6 boys. 6 boys, 6 girls. But who raised us was our father. And my mother wasn't able to. And I'm not going to get into why my mother wasn't able to until I'm ready to. But I'm going to go ahead and let you know what happened to me. So, the pastor, not my father was a co-pastor. The pastor had, I think it was 7 kids. There's only 3 of them left. And still, you know what made me mad? Is that when my father's funeral, when they saw us, they were like, oh my God. Oh wow, Susie says her video's about 20 minutes. Ooh. If I can get it through, put it through my video and then I'll put through her video if I can't do it in one shot. Anyway, so the pastor and his wife had a bunch of kids also. My father and mother had 6 girls. And so when we used to go to church, we always hung out with all the pastors' kids, and I'm not going to mention names because I'm not going to get sued. But there's an ongoing case right now, me against this woman. Well, let me tell you what's going on. What happened. So, in New York it's cold. Everybody knows how cold it is in New York. And I hated when winter came. Because when I was 4 years old, we used to love getting in the car and going to church. It was fun. We were kids. There were other kids in church. We would play in the back and we would have a great time. Well, everybody else did, but I wasn't. Now the pastor, like I told you, had a bunch of kids. And the kids, one of them, I'm not going to say her name, was a female. Decided that every time I came into church, she would grab my hand and she would guide me to where she was sitting. And she would take off my coat and she would take off her coat and she would sit me on her lap and she would put the coat over her legs and then she would molest me under the coat. And she didn't do it once or twice. She did it from the age of 4 to the age of 12. So the age of 12, I had to deal with this. And I dealt with it. I kept my mouth quiet. You know, I really hated the winter because I knew she was going to take that coat and put it right over her. and put it right over me and start playing with me and putting her fingers in me. That actually, the day I got married, I was a virgin. I didn't bleed. The reason I didn't bleed was because I was already ripped open by this woman. And she would make me put my fingers inside of her. It was disgusting. I didn't know any better. I was a little girl. 4 years old. It started at 4. So I remember my sister Ruth, I'm not going to say my sister's name. I remember my sister, when we were sitting in the back where all the kids hung out, she had me on her lap there with the coat over her and over me. And she was playing with me, sticking her fingers inside of me. And make me do the same thing to her. And then when church was about to, when the pastor would get up and say, all right, well, let's pray before we go, she would tell me, go to the bathroom and wash your hands. Go wash your hands. She would make me go wash my hands. Then my father, we never needed babysitters because, hold on, somebody's coming through my door. I'm back. I'm on my bed real quick. So somebody came in and I didn't want to talk in front of nobody. So anyway, she knew that my father didn't like to leave us alone. But he would because he had to go work. He had to go to church and we weren't going. But she convinced my father that the best thing for me was for her to babysit me. So now, not only am I going through hell at church, she now, they dropped something. She now was taking me to her house. Now, she had a bed and it was right near the window. And I can never forget that window. Never. I got a big screen TV. It's really big, right? I know. But she decided that she would take me and babysit me. So now I'm going home with her after church. And I didn't want to go home with her after church. So we get out of church at 11:15 at night. So she would tell my father, I'll babysit. Let her want to stay with me. Let her stay with me. And my father would say, all right, take her, take her. And there's a reason why my father would let me go, because I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to go in there yet. But because my father did not know I was being sexually abused. So he would be like, yeah, go ahead, take her. Take her with you. And he'd be like, go with her. And I would look at him like I just want to cry, but I couldn't. She had a window, right? Her bed was right near a window. I can never forget that window. That window, I would look out of it and I would know, I would zoom everything out. I would zone everything out. So what I would do is look out the window while she did what she wanted to do with me. You understand? And as I grew up, she started performing different kind of acts on me. All kinds. I mean, all kind of all kind of them. And I mean that. She would do whatever she wanted to me while I laid there and let her, because I was a child. She had me trained from the age of 4 to tolerate this. And I remember, I was going to say something about my sister. I remember us being in the back of the church when we were all playing. I mean, everybody was playing, but no, she has me on her lap and the coat over her, over me. She's actually doing it right in front of everybody. But nobody even noticed. But I know that my sister noticed. I know she did, because she said, she pulled the coat up and she said, "What are you doing under there?" And I thought I was saved. When my sister said that, I thought, oh, my nightmare's over. But no, they laughed it off. Yeah, they laughed it off. And they pretended like nothing happened. Meanwhile, I thought I got saved. This is the day it's going to stop. But it didn't. And if you know my sister, if you think that I'm a fucking bitch, if you know my older sister, you don't play with her, because she don't give a fuck. And when I tell you she don't give a fuck, she don't give a fuck about catching a charge. She don't care about none of that. She don't care to fucking put a bullet in you. That's why we own guns, all of the girls, because of my father. My father was the one who got us all guns. So we all own them legally. Anyway, so I remember when I was 10 years old, and she asked my father to take me with her to Great Adventures. Great Adventures is in New Jersey, and it's across the bridge, but you got to drive like an hour and a half to 2 hours. And it's right across the George Washington Bridge on 178th Street. Yeah, St. Nicholas Avenue. Yeah, I'm from New York, I know it. And she ended up getting pregnant. And now I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm really saved. Now I don't have to deal with this woman anymore. She's got a man. She's going to let me go. Now I knew what bad was. Now I knew what good was. I was not a child no more. I was 12 years old, 10 years old. And I did not want her to put her hands on me or touch me. So my father goes, yeah, of course you can take her to Great Adventures. Why not? Not a problem. Not a problem. Are you for real? So now she's picking me up. I'm getting in the car. I'm crying. My father's like, why are you crying? You're going to have such a great time. And I'm looking at him. When your child is looking at you and she's crying, pay attention. Pay attention. Whether it's a boy or a girl, you pay attention. But my father didn't think nothing like that, since we were church people. You understand? We're not like Jehovah's Witnesses. We're not like Catholic. When we serve God, we serve God. You hear us screaming just like, I'm not even going to say it. But when I was 10 years old, I said, I don't want to go to Great Adventures. I don't want to go. But sure enough, I had to go. So she now had a son that was like 9 months old. And now I'm in her house and I'm like, I'm stuck because I don't have the other kids to walk in the room, because there was a lot of us. And I'm thinking, who's going to save me here, her man? So I saw that she put her son's bed near her bed, right near her bed, her and her man's bed. And then she slept on the side that I slept on. Like he was on the outside, she was on the other side, and the bed was next to the other bed. And sure enough, the middle of the night, she starts her fucking shit touching me, doing whatever she wanted while her man was asleep. At the end, I found out that she had put 2 10-milligram volumes in his soda. I did that to somebody, but that's another story. That'll be maybe next week, because what I got to tell you guys tomorrow, you guys are going to want to listen. So I'm doing this first story to get this out of the way. The next story, y'all gonna be really intrigued, and y'all gonna be like, "What? You crazy girl?" You're gonna say that to me. But anyway, let me light my cigarette back up. Let me get a lighter. See, it's the same cigarette. So anyway, she put the bed on the side that I was gonna sleep on, and sure enough, she started her shit in the middle of the night. And look at it, so cute. And I grabbed her hand and I pulled her hand away from me, and it was my first time doing that, and she was surprised. And she looked at me. She put her hand over my mouth because I was gonna scream so her man could know what the fuck she was doing. But she put her hand around, she put one hand and then she put the other hand. So she stopped me. She stopped me from even making a sound. And she looked at me with the meanest look. And I'm looked at her like, you know, like scared. I'm 12 years old. 10 years old. You guys gotta understand. I kept putting her hand away, and the more she put her hand over me, the more I hit it harder so her man could wake up. Look how big that damn CD is. I got 3 of them downstairs, and I got 2 of them upstairs. Anyway, her man did not get up for nothing, because I found out later in the reports that she had put 2 10-milligram volumes in his drink. Anyway, what's that right here? Anyway, he didn't get up like I wished. When I saw her face, I said, you know what? I said, it's either gonna be now or it's gonna be never. And the way she was looking at me, she's in her 20s and I'm a little girl still, and I'm looking at her like with fear, and she's like and with her eyes and her hands, she's like telling me, shut the fuck up. So daylight broke and she finally fell asleep. Thank God. She finally fell asleep, and the next day when I wake up, I grab the baby. So when she wakes up, she sees me with her son, and she's like, oh, that's so cute, and telling her husband, her man, Oh, look how cute. They're playing together. All this bullshit. And I'm looking at her like, you dirty, down low bitch. But what was I gonna say? Now it's time to get ready to go to Great Adventures. When I tell you, she went down to get eggs, bacon, I remember, sausages, all kind of things. Like I have for Anna. Poor Anna. I love you, Anna. Me and Anna were supposed to have breakfast yesterday or today, and I wasn't able to. That's another story. But when she woke up, she saw me. So when she left, listen to this. She leaves me with her husband. I need gum. She leaves me with her husband. And her husband, I said, can I take the baby a bath? Since we're going to Great Adventures, And he's like, yeah. So now I got the baby in the bathtub. I'm in a pair of shorts and a little t-shirt. I'm 10. I don't got a body. A man walks in the bathroom and you know what he tells me? He tells me if you want to get undressed and get in there with him, you can. Can you believe he said that shit to me? I couldn't believe he said that to me. And I'm 10 years old and I saw the danger. I saw it. I saw that not only was she sick, he was sick. They were both fucking sick. They were both fucking sick. I told him no thank you. He's like, come here, I'll take your clothes off for you. I told him no thank you. No. So now I dressed the baby, took him out, dressed him, and now we're getting ready to go to Great Adventures. Now on the car ride, it was a very quiet car ride. Very quiet, 2 hours, 2.5 hours to Great Adventures in New Jersey, in Palomar Parkway. And the ride was quiet. Her man didn't say a word. I didn't hear her say a word. I paid attention to the baby and played with him. But in reality, I didn't even want to fucking look at the front. Because to me, they were two sick pieces of shit. And stupid minds think alike. Not like I tell you, my sister Angel, great minds think alike. But stupid minds think alike. They do. They really fucking do. So now, she's an adult. She's in church praising God while she's molesting me in church. So about a year and a half goes by. And I was like, this needs to stop. I gotta tell somebody. But what am I gonna say? Who am I gonna tell? My father? I'm embarrassed. My mother? I couldn't. If I would have told my mother would have killed her. I mean, when I tell you killed her, would have killed her. My father would have killed her. I think that when my father died, I'll tell you that story soon, guys. You're going to be intrigued, trust me. How I found out my father was dying. That's when you see that title, you're going to be like, what? That's how you found out your father was dying? Imagine. So, when I was 12 years old, I'm going to be 12 years old, about a year and a half when more And, oh, look at that beautiful rose. That's big, right? But anyway, I finally said, this is enough. I'm 12. So my sister, my father had put us in self-defense. And always, my father was an OG. A pastor that was an OG, didn't play. I never, not once, ever seen my father smoke a cigarette, drink a beer, nothing. My father never, not once, ever used drugs, nothing. He was the best father, the best man in the world to me. My father could do no wrong, and my father did no wrong. Did a little bit on the side, you know. There was a lot of women. There were women. Tell me how I'll tell you the story how I found out my father was engaged while he was married. Oh God. I'll tell you that story too, guys. I'm gonna be telling you guys a lot of stories. But when I hit 12 years old, I went to church, and there's no more sitting on your lap because I'm a grown fucking little girl, and how I look sitting on her lap. And the thing about her father was tall. He was 6'6", and she was like 6'1". She was big, intimidating. Now I'll drag that bitch. I would. Right now, she's scared right now. She's running scared. That's actually Chicago. That's actually the fucking piece of shit place. Anyway, where all the murders happen. Anyway, so now that you guys know, well, not yet, let me finish. So, when I was 12 years old, I got up to go to the bathroom in church. And who do you think is coming behind me? She is. Because she couldn't get it outside of in where everybody was sitting anymore. And I refused to fucking sleep in her house anymore. And Great Adventures sucked. I didn't smile. I didn't laugh. I got on the rides, the baby rides with the baby, things like that. But it was the most boringest, scariest day of my life. Anyway, so when I was 12, there's no more sitting me on your lap, bitch. So one day I got up and I walked to the bathroom, and she thought she was going to be able to molest me in the bathroom. But what ended up happening was that there was a cup, a plastic cup, white, and I had put water in it. And she banged on the bathroom, because in the church, you walk down the aisle and then you make a turn, and then there's a door there that goes to another door. And she came in and closed both doors and tried to open the bathroom door. And I knew it was her knocking. And I did not want to answer the door to her for nothing. For nothing. I did not want to answer the door to her for nothing. And I peed, wiped myself and everything, washed my hands, threw the napkin in the garbage, and then I opened the door and she tried to push me in. When she tried to push me in, I pushed myself. I pushed her with everything I had inside of me. I pushed her. And she didn't expect me to push her. She didn't expect that. So she lost balance and she went backwards. And I ran out. And I ran out of the back. I looked at my father, and my father looked at me, and he tells me, "Come here." come here. And he saw like I was red, I was flushed, I was upset. He saw that I went in the bathroom one way and I came out another way. And my father bought me a chain that said Wendy, because my sisters call me Wendy. So, it said Wendy. And when I pushed her, she was going to grab me by my neck to push me back in the bathroom. And she broke my chain. And I had my chain in my hand. I picked it up and ran out. And my father said, get over here. And he looked at me. He said, where's your chain? I said, I broke it, Daddy, by mistake, coming out the bathroom. And he said, come on. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, come on, let's go. I'm like, where are we going? He said, we're going home. Get your sisters. And my father got all the girls, all my sisters together, and told everybody buying the church that we had to leave. And we had never left before, you know? Not before 11 o'clock at night. We had to be there from 7:30 to 11 at night. So my father in the car, everybody was like, Daddy, where are we going? Daddy, where are we going? And he said, I'm taking you guys to Playland. And I said, Daddy, it's nighttime. Playland is closed. Playland. You got to cross George Washington Bridge also and get on the, what is it? Parkway. I don't know. I'll look it up for you guys. The Palomar Parkway. It starts with a P. But anyway, I saw my father said, no, we're going to get a hotel out there, and then tomorrow we're going to spend the whole day at the park. And I'm like, what's going on? And my father did not drive to get us even a change of clothes. He got on the highway and he drove. And it was like, I'm sorry, guys. It came to a 30-minute limit. So I didn't want to leave you guys without telling you the ending of this and how it stopped. So my father took us to Playland. The whole next day we played in Playland. And I see my father tell the girls to all go play. And then he said, I need to talk to Wendy. And I'm like, what does he need to talk to me about? They're screaming out there. And my father grabs me, sits me down, and he goes, do you got something to tell me? I told him, no, Daddy. Why would you think I got something to tell you? He said, I know abuse when I see it. I said, you finally see it? You finally see it? Because it's been going on since I was 4 years old, and now you're finally seeing it? He said, I would have never thought what I was thinking. But the way you came out of that bathroom, like a bat out of hell, which I love that CD by Meatloaf. I came out of that bathroom like a bat out of hell, he said. And he was like, tell me what's going on. Something's going on with you and her. And I almost said her name. I would have had to start again. But I'm like, this is what's been happening. It started since I was a baby, since I was 4. You guys letting her take care of me. Not looking. Because with my 3 girls, they never slept in nobody's houses. I never let none of my girls. I never let my girls sleep over nobody's house. My daughters can vouch. And one was born in 81. My older was born in 81, and I was young. The other one was born in 89, and my last one was born in 97. Okay? So I said, "You're finally seeing it, Daddy?" I said, "It's been happening for so long." And my father cried so bad that I didn't even know what to do. I felt like I was killing him. Like, I felt like, and he was sobbing. I mean, sobbing like it was going out of style. It was really, really horrible. And the next day, her father was going to Puerto Rico, and he left his wife, which ended up having cancer. So the pastor of the church, her father, went to Puerto Rico, and what happened? Had an affair. Met a woman on the plane and had an affair. And he's a pastor, and he's having an affair with a woman. Hello! So I'm telling you, they don't know how to talk. They're screaming. So my father told me, "Don't confront. We're not gonna confront her. We're gonna let it go." I said, "Why? Why are we gonna let it go?" And he said, "I know what I'm gonna do." And I saw him let us play. I saw his tears. And while we were driving back, my father was really, really mad. Really mad. And I saw him. I'm sitting in the middle, but it's 5 of us in the car. No, 4 of us. 5 with my father. The twins were with me in the back, and since my other sister was 1 year older than me, she gets the front seat. And after she went out of her life, I got the front seat. And then after that, the twins got the front seat. They had to fight over it. But then I have 2 older sisters. I wish I could tell you their names. It would be so much easier. But I can't now that I'm in court with this person, no. But you might see me on a TV show. I'll let you guys know when. But anyway, my father went, well, her father ended up going to Puerto Rico and having an affair. And my father found out about it. His wife was in the hospital, had cancer. And this was when I was 12, I mean, years ago. The advance that we have now in technology, we didn't have it back then. Oh, talking about big words, can't talk big words. Laugh out loud. I saw the video that the stupid Sakina, greasy face, and the video she made on me. And I didn't see it, I just saw it. And she puts article clout chaser. She had to put it because she couldn't read it herself because she's that dumb. I don't know if she read it or not, but she put that up after my sister Angel put up the video about what an orthodontic is, because people were so stupid they don't know what an orthodontic is. Do you know what a TV is? Because it's right in front of your face. And if you want, I can show you a bunch more. Just that big. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful, right? So anyway, guys, I'm going to close this in because I've had you guys on long enough. And I got to put Susie's video in with this. So this is like a small part 2 because my camera cut off at the 30-minute mark. And I'm telling you right now, What ended up happening was my father confronted the pastor, about him cheating on his wife while she was dying in the hospital with cancer. And my father said, you need to step down. You can no longer be the pastor. And since he was the landlord of the building that we had the church in, he was the landlord, he told my father, this is my church. You ain't taking my church from me. And my father said, oh, this is your church? I thought this was God's church. But since it's your church, I'm taking my kids and I'm leaving. And he said, by the way, your daughter is a child sex offender. She's been raping my daughter. And I was sitting there because I was the only one with my father that day. And I was sitting right there, and my father said, oh, I thought this was God's church. But since this is your church, I'm taking my daughters, we're leaving. Do you know that my father opened up a church in like a week? He found property real fast. And do you know that the pastor lost all of the people? They all came to my father's building, but not my father's church, because that was God's church. And it will always be God's church. I've kept you guys long enough. I'm going to let you go. Tomorrow, I want to talk to you guys about the first time I met the biggest drug dealer in New York City. So get ready for that, guys, because that is going to blow your mind. Love you guys. Peace out. I hope this wasn't traumatic for you guys, because it was really traumatic for me. It was really traumatic. But I love you guys. It just told me I had no more space, so I gotta put the videos through. Love you guys. Peace out. See you tomorrow.